Yo, this is Annrai, founder of ReachUP, your go-to cold email agency. We book meetings directly on your calendar on your behalf on a performance basis. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we're booking meetings with company making over 10 billion euros a year, some of the biggest company actually in Europe, for companies who are actually pretty small. So if you have a company with a headcount between 5 to 100 employees, I'm going to show you exactly how you can be booking meetings with some of the biggest company on the planet, actually, Amazon, Facebook, this type of company, with also any type of seniority inside the company. So before we get into it, like always, just going to show you a bit of proof about what I'm saying. So one meeting, and these are all of meetings generated last month. So 21 November, 19, 17, so super recently. We have Air Liquide, which is one of the biggest company in France, probably one of the biggest in Europe in the gas industry. We have Carrefour, also a massive company in Europe in the retail space. And we have Schneider Electric, also really, really big company. All of this we're going to see right after without using crazy AI, without doing any stuff of like crazy stuff. It's really a simple process we follow across all of our clients. So before we get into it, obviously, and we'll go a bit why some companies are not working with cold email, but like cold email is not dead. My only source of revenue is cold email. I pay this apartment with cold email. I pay my groceries with cold email. And for all of our clients, we're just doing cold email, booking meetings for them. The reason why some companies are not doing cold email, and we'll go a bit deeper inside of it, but for most what we're seeing is a lot of companies are at the moment like chasing this kind of AI gold mine chasing thing where everybody's trying to like sell AI stuff, etc. And people are like overwhelmed with offers that are really not tangible as they don't provide any solution to actual like pain point or problem, and they're not understanding what people are actually selling. And what we're like finding funny enough is that companies with like super like tangible and super like even kind of like old like traditional business are working very well because in their era was where everybody's selling like AI fancy stuff. People selling like actual like really tangible offers, things that make sense, that answer a solution, etc. Answer a problem, makes sense. To give you an example, for example, some of our best performing clients, so we're getting a meeting booked for every 300, a positive reply for every 300% contacted, and a meeting booked for every 600% contacted, is actually only selling handmade like decoration for luxury hotel. So no AI, nothing, etc. Because people see the value, it's tangible, you can put it in your office, etc. This works pretty well. And so, yeah, concerning recent wins, I'm going to show you a bit into more details how we're booking meetings with these big companies. So, Air Liquide is probably like 200K opportunity. Schneider Electric, same 230K after talking with clients, and Carrefour, same 100 to 200K. Each of the people are super, super senior inside of in the company. I think one of them actually one of the client took the meeting and it was like 7 people. So it's like really like there's like actual like interest on their side, etc. And so yeah, these are pretty big numbers. And also from an ROI point of view, our client is paying anywhere like around 300 euro per qualified meeting. So you imagine you pay 300 for a qualified meeting, and then you have an opportunity of around 150K to 200K annually, and these are probably opportunities over the lifetime value of the client that are even worth more. So the ROI is pretty massive also on this point. So like I was saying at the beginning of the video, why are 99 of SMBs failing with cold email? Because I can understand also like if you never got result inside of like cold email, you could just think on yourself like, it doesn't work. It's not for me, etc. I would have the same false belief, for example, for like doing like content on LinkedIn because I wasn't booking much call at the beginning. So I would just say it doesn't work. The thing is, if like an acquisition model is being used over like a big proportion of your market, it just works. It's just you haven't cracked the right thing. So some of the biggest reason we're seeing clients fail is bad email infrastructure. And there's two things about that. Either they're not sending enough volume, so they're sending like 20 to 100 emails a day, which would land to around like 1 to 3,000 max emails per month. You cannot build a solid pipeline across of this. If I show you some numbers, if we go somewhere, average clients in November is booking a call for every 2,458 person contacted. So you imagine if you send 2K a month, you're probably not even going to book a meeting. And that's just the reality. Some people say, I don't want to send volume, etc. Either die poor or just do volume and make money, basically. I want to say I don't want to like fight with these people, I guess. So sending enough volume, basically. And some of the companies understand that they do send enough volume, but they're sending everything from the main inbox. So like from one emails, they're blasting emails from like MailChimp, Salesforce, etc. And it's just not working. So email infrastructure is a whole topic by itself. I'm not going to go into too much details, but basically, if you have a low reply rate or if you really convinced you have a good offer but nobody is booking, etc., you might want to have an actual like double check inside your email infrastructure. Wrong targeting, we'll go a bit deeper into this, but if you're obviously sending a good offer to the wrong person, you're going to have an issue. Your emails are too long. This is one we're seeing a lot when we ask on the onboarding, can you send us an email? You've tried in the past. People send us newsletter, which are like this. Obviously, they're not booking any meetings. It really lives like a newsletter. People do not want to receive this type of email. They want to receive something that looks conversational, like, hey, I was on your website, noticed you do X. We can help you with Y. Interested in a quick call, something that sounds like super like smooth, simple. Weak positioning. They have like the same offer as everyone else and over automations. They try building this massive automation before booking any meetings, thinking it's going to help anything. And also, something we've seen recently also is that they're not making the most out of what they're doing inside of cold email. So sending emails and getting positive replies is one thing, but making the most out of each positive reply, booking meetings using LinkedIn, phoning, etc., is also a good way to guarantee a strong ROI and to make the most out of your leads. So what we're going to see inside of like how we're booking meetings with this client is what is the targeting we use, the message, and the follow-up, which is the most important part. Concerning targeting, so a few tips there. I'm just going to go to the Apollo link. It'll be easier. So we see we see a lot of companies who do targeting by like job titles. So they put like, let's say your ICP is the director of marketing. They're going to put like director of marketing, etc. We find that by putting job titles, you're just like too granular and you basically exclude the probability of booking a meeting with somebody who might be in your ICP but does not have the exact job title keyword. So we prefer going by department. And so let's say we want to target people in product development. We just like apply this, and Apollo does a pretty good job at finding every job title that will be related to this ICP, which basically we at the end we would be booking meetings with people who are inside the ICP, but we would have never known this like job title is this one because it varies from a company to another. That's a quick tip. Also, for companies looking to like, for example, this client looking to book like meetings with like major big companies, your total addressable market is going to be a bit smaller. So you're not going to reach out to like 10, 20, 30 talent companies maybe. So maybe a smaller pool, but actually we find that contacting a lot of people inside of the same company works well if you have the right infrastructure and you're kind of mixing it up. So let's say on Monday, if you target like everybody from, I don't know, like from Apple, and then on Tuesday, everybody from Facebook, it's not going to work because you're going to get like flagged as spam super quickly because if like the company receives 5 minutes after 5 minutes after 5 minutes for each single employee, the same email by one single company, it's going to be super easy to flag. But if you like kind of disperse it a bit, like one in the morning, one in the afternoon, etc., it's going to work well. And the reason we do this is because we actually find, like, for example, I'm not sure, but for one of the meeting we booked, maybe it was Air Liquide, but basically we had some people inside the same company who said, hey, we're not interested. And then 2 days after, we have someone who is even more senior saying like, hey, this is a great topic. I'm interested in having a call. So this is also why you should always send like, for smaller companies, like target 2 to 3 people. For bigger companies, for this one, we're going like, I think 10 to 20 people per company basically. And this maximizes the chance of having a meeting. Like, just do not like stop your outreach from the first no, because in these big companies, like one person isn't enough to know whether the offer is worth it or not. Somebody else might have a better like understanding, etc. So yeah, that would be the main thing for the lead list. In terms of like the actual script, you'll see we're using something that is pretty simple. So this is going to be in French, but like you can see, first of all, from a structure point of view, we always try to like if I go preview something that is pretty short. We try to keep like a F structure, so like long, shorter, short, something like that, with a nice PS. Try to make it tangible. So here, basically, first line is, hey, we can help you move from an idea, an R&D, and research and development idea to a functional prototype in only 6 weeks with a free first audit. So this sounds a bit like, I would not like this type of like email because it sounds a bit fluffy, like I'm moving from like a concrete R&D idea from like a functional prototype. If I see this and like it's already like fucking my head up, I don't understand what it says. But, and this is why I recommended with a client, we're adding like specific example of what we could do. So for example, um, like a type of like a robot that could work, that could help company, or like we're actually like giving specific example. And I think that works really well. And this is why we're booking meetings. And then we have a strong social proof. Like, hey, we have over 50 realization for big companies. And then super simple follow up. You see, it's kind of the same case study. I like in the follow up to remind what the offer is and then just add a few sentences regarding what the company does or what the company has done with another similar company. So like, hey, this is exactly what we did for another company, blah, 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 blah. Interesting having talks. So if we look at the stats, actually, the last 30 days. So you see, 4 interested replies for the first email, 3 interested in reply for the second one. So it's working pretty well across the both email. So, and you realize there's no AI inside the email, just an offer, a good offer to the right person. The offer isn't even that strong. It's just, we have good example in a market that is not saturated. Simple email, clear, concrete, etc. Now the last point is more around the like how do we follow up with leads, etc. First of all, for example, if you see this email we booked for Air Liquide, there is one, two, three. There's over 7 emails. So, well, we person answers, we follow up 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. Then the person answers like, "Hey, I'm still interested. I was just like at a client last week. Would you be available next week?" Boom, boom, boom. So like never forget to follow up, especially these people who are quite busy. You want to follow up with them everywhere. And at the same time, you're not seeing, but someone from our team is calling this person, leaving message. If we can, if we have access to their client's LinkedIn, we're going to send a notification because even if the person is interested and you're not like this main priority for this person. Like, yes, he's interested, but he's got a life, he's got a lot of work, he's got a personal life, etc. So if he's interested but not too interested, he's just going to send you an email, and then if he just doesn't bounce on some of your content, etc., he's probably never going to book a call. But if you call his mobile phone, you leave an SMS, you leave a voicemail, you reach out on LinkedIn, you're making it way easier for him to book a meeting with you because you're everywhere basically. And also you're keeping like top of mind all of the time. So this is super important. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. So initial interested, inbox manager, like goes back and forth, always push for the meeting. Don't be scared of pushing for the meeting. Like all of the people, and I see that a lot, like pushing for lead magnets, etc. Like sending a video, sending more information. Sure, that is good, but your aim priority is always first booking the meeting and then obviously signing the client. And so you want to always keep that in mind. So always send your Calendly, always sign a thing, etc. Make sure to follow up over time. In this case, the client was like traveling, etc. So the reason he's not booking meetings straight away is not because he's not interested. It's just because people have life. So you just have to follow up forever. Rebook, and then we get the meeting confirmed, etc. So if you would like us to do the same thing for you on a performance basis, we book a lot of meetings every single month, maybe between 50 to 100, not only for enterprise level, but also for smaller company. We can have a quick call, see if it's worth it for you based on your LTV, your offer, and what you're looking to achieve. And then if it's interested, and we can see a potential strong ROI from your side, meaning that for every client you sign with us, you're easily covering our fees. I think it would be worth it to have a call. So speak soon. Ciao.